So with the Switch 1 era coming to an end for Pokemon, there's many speculations on what's coming next. Aside from the Legends ZA release and the inevitable Gen 10 game, many Pokemon fans await the next release, which seems to be the Generation 5 titles, Pokemon Black and White. And while yes, a remake of the Black and White titles would be amazing, I'm here to argue against the continuation of remakes as they stand now. You see, Black and White are some of the best titles in the franchise in my opinion, and it would be really hard to top off a game that defined the DS era of Pokemon. It's also in a weird spot in particular because I feel like if you remaster the first games, you honestly would have to remaster the second games too, as they are kind of a set nowadays. So to me, rather than just a remake, I feel like the objective choice is to simply make a Legends prequel title or have Pokemon Black and White 3. And honestly speaking, I feel like sequels and Legends should be the standard going forward over remakes, as many regions that we know and love still have many characters and stories to expand upon. Pokemon Legends Arceus is without a doubt the best Switch 1 Pokemon title, and for many reasons. One being that it took us back to a time in a familiar place and expanded upon it. The game basically reimagined the Sinnoh region and Pokemon as a whole, making once friendly creatures more hostile, and honestly made Pokemon in general feel like living creatures of the wild rather than just simply battle companions. This game was honestly Game Freak's most innovative title on the Nintendo Switch. This is in stark contrast to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. These titles, while objectively different from Arceus, simply did not land with most fans. Let me know if this is just my opinion, but I think simply porting it over or just making an HD 2D version would honestly have been better than what we got. There's just a certain charm in the originals that BDSP simply couldn't replicate, which is why I'm concerned about a remake of Black and White, because I feel like the loss in charm would be far worse. I mean, if it ain't broke, no need to fix it. But yeah, this is a time to not just simply retell the story of old Pokemon titles, but to expand upon them, which is why I think the standard should be Legends or sequels. Just imagine the story of the original Unova Dragon that fans have speculated on since the release of Pokemon Black and White. Game Freak should let us experience what a past war in Pokemon used to look like and how the two brothers went on to split the dragon in the past, or continue the story of Black and White, maybe with another team rising from the ashes of Neoplasma, wanting to recombine Zekrom and Reshiram fully. As of recently, I've been seeing people connect the original dragon to the lore of the original creation trio, and if that's true, the story of Unova could just pick up a few years after the Hisuian lore. One thing that always stood out to me in the original Gen 5 games was the fact that In's Castle and the Pokemon League seemed to stand out a bit. They seemed like bits of a greater and older castle, or a bit of a civilization that used to be atop that mountain. What sort of role did these buildings serve in the past? There's just many ways to go about transforming and expanding the stories that we already know. The last thing I'll say is that I know remakes, refreshes, and sequels tend not to sell well for Pokemon, but honestly, it really shouldn't cost them more to make than a new Pokemon game, since they already have the basic plot in the Pokemon and the region design. If anything, they can add several more Pokemon like they did in Arceus and make merchandise for it, as if you didn't know, Pokemon makes a majority of its money with its physical toys and accessories rather than the games. So remarketing Unova through a remake is profitable in the long run. But yeah, anyways, let me know in the comments your opinions on the state of remakes and if Legends and sequels should just take over. Honestly, I just want to see Gen 5 be the remake that people really like. I don't want another BDSP situation to happen, especially since Gen 5 is one of my favorite regions.